Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. The topic for today's discussion is sericulture, or the culturing and rearing of silkworm for the production of silk. So let's get started. Sericulture or silk farming is the rearing of silkworms for the production of silk. Silk, we all know, is a priceless natural fiber which is in demand throughout the world. And India is known for its silk production. India is famous for its different types of silk garments, different varieties of silk cultivation. So, although there are several commercial species of silkworms, Bombyx mori is the most widely used and intensively studied ones. Silk is a natural protein fiber, some forms of which can be woven into textiles. The protein fiber of silk is composed mainly of fibroin and produced by certain insect larvae to form cocoons. Now, before we get into the topic, let's first know the systematic position of these silkworms. It belongs to the kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Lepidoptera, family Bombycidae, genus Bombyx, species Mori. Now, this is the brief pictorial representation of how the adult male and female silk moths mate, and they produce the larvae, then the cocoon, and finally they break open the cocoon and fly off. Now we'll see how is it happening. Eggs take about 14 days to hatch into larvae which eat continuously. So these eggs which are laid, they eat continuously. They consume a lot of food after hatching. Once they hatch, they eat a lot. Now, one thing you should remember, the eggs that are laid, not all are fertile. Now, if the color of the egg turns slate gray, that means it is fertile. The egg, when it is laid, is lemon yellow in color. And if it is a fertile egg, it will turn slate gray in color. Then after 7 to 20 days, the egg will hatch, and the hatchling is a brownish, the hatchling is a brown colored hairy organism. Okay. Then comes the first instar worm. Then after the first molt, the second instar comes. And after the second mold, the third instar comes. And after the third mold, the fourth instar comes. And after fourth mold, the fifth instar comes. And after that, no more molting. Then the spinning starts. The silkworm, in 2 to 3 days, it takes 2 to 3 days to create the cocoon, spinning with a figure of 8 pattern around the body. Means, look at this thing. It goes on like this in the pattern of 8. Okay. This is how the cocoon is formed. Then the silkworm in its cocoon and in the slumber position is maintained for some time. Then it changes into a moth form within, say, around 14 to 21 days. So this is their life cycle. See, they have a preference for white mulberry, having an attraction to mulberry odorant cis jasmine. So this is what attracts the silkworm. The silkworms feed on the mulberry leaves, and this is the odorant that attracts them. They are covered with tiny black hairs. When the color of their head turns darker, it indicates they are about to molt. After molting, as I was just telling how they molt and the first, second, third, fourth instar come up, the larval phase of the silkworm emerge white, naked with little horns on their backs. After they have molted 4 times, their bodies become yellow and the skin becomes tighter. The larvae then prepare to enter the pupal phase of their life cycle and enclose themselves in cocoon made up of raw silk by the salivary gland. As I was telling you, they secrete, they have the secretion of the salivary glands to build the cocoon. The final molt from larva to pupa take place within the cocoon, which provides a vital layer of protection during the vulnerable, almost motionless pupal state. So when you see the worm in the pupal state, they are almost motionless and in a very vulnerable condition, and this cocoon gives them a protection, right? Pupa releases proteolytic enzymes to make a hole in the cocoon so it can emerge as an adult moth. As I was telling you, the silk is protein. So to digest it, to break it, proteolytic enzymes are required. Now, as these proteolytic enzymes break the protein in the cocoon, it forms a hole through which the adult moth flies off. So this is what is happening. The adult moth lays the egg. See the 2 different colors of the egg, the yellow ones and the gray ones. The yellow ones are the just laid ones, and if they are fertile, they will turn grayish, slate gray in color. Then the larva comes up. See, the larval form feeds continuously, vigorously on the mulberry leaves, and they form the cocoon, and finally, again the same thing, they develop into adult moth and start their life cycle afresh. Now we'll talk a little about silk reeling, how the reeling of silk is done. The silk reeling process in sericulture involves heating silk cocoons in hot water to soften the sericin, then unwinding the single silk filaments from multiple cocoons together into one continuous thread, which is wound onto a fast-moving reel to produce raw silk. So these cocoons are put into hot water to soften the sericin, and then unwinding process starts. This final commercial stage of sericulture produces raw silk yarn, which can be further processed into fine silk fabrics. So how is it done? See, the cocoon is boiled, which is called stiffling. The cocoons are placed in hot water bath to soften the sericin, the natural gum that holds the silk filaments together. Boiling will also kill the pupae inside the cocoon, preventing them from emerging and breaking the continuous filament. So this is also important. The continuous filament should not be broken. This is not beneficial from the point of view of commerce. Then floss removal. After boiling, the loose outer floss of the cocoon is removed. Then the softened cocoons are brushed to find the free end to each filament. So until and unless you get a free end, how are you going to handle it, right? So it is brushed to make it easy for tackling. Then the thread formation. Several individual filaments from 5 to 10 or more are brought together and twisted to form a single thicker uniform thread. Now, if you roll your hand or brush your hand against a silk fiber, you will notice that it is very smooth. So, to ensure the smoothness, it has to be thicker. It has to be twisted to form a single uniform thread. Okay. Unwinding onto a reel. This combined thread is then passed through guides and pulleys and wound onto a moving reel, creating skeins of raw silk. Fine. Next, coming to this, different silk reeling methods in sericulture are broadly classified as direct reeling and indirect reeling, with specific machines like the traditional charkha, the basic sitting tight machine, the more advanced multi-end reeling machine and automated or the automatic reeling machines used for each. Direct ones, see, the filaments are reeled directly onto a standard sized reel. And in indirect one, what do we get to see? The filaments are first reeled onto a small reel and then transferred to standard size reels by a re-reeling machine. So here you are doing the reeling twice. This method is used in modern silk reeling to improve quality. Fine. Next, the traditional cottage system, the charkha reeling, as I was telling you, it is a foot-operated or motor-driven homemade device for direct reeling. It is a very common and traditional method. And sitting type reeling machine, this machine can be foot-operated or motor-driven, both. It consists of a reeling basin, brushes, and reels. Then you have the advanced ones also, the multi-end reeling machine. This advanced system is known for its high speed and quality silk production. It operates with many threads, that is the end, many ends at a lower reeling speed, which prevents thread breaks, reduces waste, and improves the quality and continuity of silkworm. So you've got to be very careful. If you are doing the process at a very high speed, then there are high chances of thread breakage. That should not happen. It should be a continuous one, and that will increase the quality of the fabric. And in automatic reeling machine, what's happening? While specific details aren't provided in the snippets, automatic machines are the most advanced, automating the complex process of reeling to further enhance quality and productivity. So this is our brief discussion about sericulture. I hope you have learned something new. To get many more such interesting videos, you'll have to stay tuned. You should like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get more and more such interesting videos. So till then, happy learning and bye-bye.